Welcome back to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. We're in a hotel again, just another course, another day, another course. Today I'm going to be reviewing Thompson Bros White Peak 7-year-old, which is 57.1% ABV, £70 for a bottle. I've had this over the previous kind of couple of nights whilst I've been at this hotel, and yeah, I've not taken any notes, but I'm kind of familiar with it at this point. It does require a little bit of water, so I've added a splash of water in there already. But yeah, we'll get right down to the nose, the palate, the finish, and see if it's a whiskey win or a whiskey bin. I think I mentioned it was £70 a bottle, didn't I? So the nose, it's quite familiar with like agave or I think that's how you pronounce the plant. That kind of green, spiky, almost looks like aloe vera. Um, or aloe. I don't know if aloe vera is the thing that is produced. Anyway, it's mezcal familiarity. It's familiar with mezcal. That's what I would say in the nose. There's a little bit of a smokiness on the nose as well. Um, yeah, it definitely reminds me of mezcal or tequila, but a nice high quality one. It's green on the nose as well. It's quite fresh, quite fragrant. Possibly, possibly like it's quite strange. It might be the water. Maybe I've added it too quick or something. I don't know. But there's actually a little bit of like washing up powder, and not like washing liquid or tablet. Specifically, the crumbly white powder that you get. Yeah, it smells like washing up powder, but not. It's not bad. It's not off-putting. It's not a disgusting smell. It's quite fragrant, aromatic, perfumey, and just yeah, I'm enjoying those. There's a little bit of a kind of subtle fruitiness that isn't revealing itself, but it does come up in the palate. So we'll get down to the palate. Hmm. Yeah, so without the water, the nose and the palate are quite overpowering, but with the water, it completely opens it up. This is a minerally dram. It's got citrus there, and I want to stick with this kind of mezcal theme. It just reminds me of when I go, as if I frequently, I was going to say when I go to the Caribbean, as if I frequent the Caribbean, but when I've been to the Caribbean, I like a tequila, just sitting by the pool, just for like a breakfast drink. Just when you kind of get to the pool and the bar just opens, and a tequila, a little bit of salt around the rim, and the lime there, just to, if you like, just to put a little bit of lime in, or just to nibble a little bit of it, but nothing like shot and whatever the thing is it shot the lime, snort the tequila, and then put the salt in your eyes. Yeah, not like a cheap nasty tequila or mezcal, but quite a well represented mezcal. Anyway, getting back to it. So lime, citrus, saltiness, and the mezcal there again in the palate. It's you could almost mistake it for a mezcal, but what I think brings it back to being a whiskey is the peat. I'm not actually sure if this has been peated, but I'm almost certain with the peaty flavours that I'm getting. Yeah, it's a little sweet. There's like some pears there as well. Yeah, like I said, quite green, but white pears. Um, there's a little bit of a floral element to it. There's a little bit kind of, I don't know, like almost like rope. Um, it reminds me of something ropey for some reason, like being by the sea, and they've kind of roped off part of the. We're just going to go back to the Caribbean, like Mexico or whatever, or my last Caribbean holiday was the Dominican, so we're just going to go there. I've got my. This is where it's transporting me. I've got my tequila. I've got my a little bit of salt around the rim. I've got my lime, and there's a cordoned off area with rope, and you've got the sea coming in as well because of that peat. That it brings this little bit of this kind of mineral, seaside almost feel to it, coastal feel to it. And like I say, something to do with that rope. I feel like I can taste rope. So I don't know what that is, but that's pretty strange regardless anyway, pretty specific. The finish, the finish is long, it's quite a nice mouthfeel, it's quite creamy. There's It's quite drying in the finish as well, to be honest. I hope this hasn't been too disjointed. Like I said, I've not written any notes. Um, yeah, there's a sweetness that once the once the alcohol evaporates and disappears from your mouth, there is a real sweetness that this carries. And I'm trying to think. It's definitely a fruit. It might be more of the pear, but it feels a little bit more like a little sweeter than a pear. Anyway, there's definitely a white fleshy fruit that I'm trying to think of, but I can't picture. Um, Possibly melon, just in the finish. It's yeah. There's a lot of white kind of fleshed fruits in this. It's quite seedy as well. I was thinking like plantain because I was thinking of the Caribbean, but it's been a while since I've had plantain, so I don't want to say it like plantain, but there is something there. Anyway, that's as far as I'm going with the tasting notes. Uh, so we'll get down to the conclusion and the rating. If you're new here, how I rate my whiskies on three factors. Would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? So would I buy it again? Um, this was I forgot to say where this came from. This actually came from Matt, a fellow Patreon friend, and a whiskey enthusiast. Um, so I didn't pay for this or anything. It's just a sample. Would I buy it though? It's interesting enough that it after trying it that it could entice me to buy a bottle, but it's still a peated whiskey. I hope it's peated because I'm definitely getting peated notes. It's quite a, I don't want to say generic because it is a little bit unique, but it feels like I would rather go for other peated whiskies knowing what it is. I'd rather go for peated Scotch. It's kind of simple as that. I'd rather just spend my money where I know I'm going to be satisfied. Like I said, this is a satisfying dram. It's quite tasty, but £70, 7 year old, 57.1% ABV, English whiskey. Yeah, I think it's worth the price. I just don't think I'd buy a bottle. Not with what I've got currently in my collection and what I need to get through. I just don't think I'd buy a bottle. But I definitely think it's a good price, £70. Do I think it's worth it? That's yes. Would I recommend it? This is it's a strange dram because it almost performs like a Scotch whiskey, but it almost performs like a mezcal, and then it's English whiskey. Um, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's peated. So I would recommend it. I think it's wacky and wonderful enough that it will confuse people. It's like in a blind tasting or whatever, and I think it will um, hopefully challenge some misconceptions or preconceptions about English whiskey. I just wonder where they got the peat from, if it was Scottish peat, because then that changes things. So yeah, it's 2 to 3. I don't have my coin, but it's a Whisky Win. So thanks for watching. I've been Stuart. This has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.